What happens when a rising football star's love life becomes bigger news than his game-winning plays? For Carson Beck, the Miami Hurricanes' golden quarterback, that's exactly what happened. One of the most promising talents in college football suddenly found himself battling not just rival defenses on the field, but millions of opinions online about his breakup with Hanna Cavinder. And now, for the very first time, he's pulling back the curtain on what really went down. Carson Beck's move to Miami was supposed to be all about football. A two-time national champion transferring in as the new face of the Hurricanes, fans couldn't wait to see what he would bring. But the spotlight didn't just follow him onto the field. Off the field, people were just as obsessed with his relationship with Hanna Cavinder. Hanna wasn't just any girlfriend. She and her twin sister had already built massive fame as former college basketball stars and social media sensations. Together, Carson and Hanna looked like the perfect sports power couple, talented, young, and living in the center of Miami's energy. Every photo, every appearance, every Instagram story felt like a headline waiting to happen. But as the attention grew, so did the pressure. What seemed like a dream pairing for fans watching from the outside was quietly becoming something much harder to handle for the two living inside of it. And soon, the cracks began to show. By April 2025, the fairy tale was over. News broke that Carson and Hanna had officially split, and instantly, the internet went into overdrive. Fans didn't just react, they started building their own narratives. Whispers of betrayal spread across social media, with countless posts accusing Carson of cheating. Screenshots, theories, and unverified sources flooded timelines, painting a picture that only added fuel to the fire. But then came the twist. Hanna Cavinder herself shut down those rumors. She made it clear that cheating wasn't the reason things fell apart. Still, the speculation didn't stop. In fact, the denials almost seemed to make fans dig deeper, demanding answers that neither side was ready to give. The relationship was already difficult, but with millions of eyes dissecting every detail, the private heartbreak turned into a public spectacle. And for Carson, the storm was only just beginning. For months, Carson Beck kept quiet, letting the internet spin its own version of events. But in his first sit-down interview with ESPN, he finally broke the silence, and what he revealed was raw. He admitted the breakup was painful enough on its own, but the non-stop attention turned it into something far worse. You make mistakes as a person, but it sucks that you have to go through something like that with someone you care about, and now it's all over the internet, he said, his voice carrying the weight of someone who had been living under a microscope. Carson explained how damaging the rumors became. Half of what you see in the media is true. Half of what you see is not true. So, people pick their side of the story and run with it. The people that know the truth know the truth. But it's been difficult. Those words revealed more than frustration, they showed the toll of being young, famous, and caught in the chaos of digital gossip. But what Carson didn't mention at first was that the breakup wasn't the only storm he had to weather that year. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, life threw Carson Beck another curveball, this time far away from the football field or relationship drama. His Miami home, the same place he had once shared with Hanna Cavinder, became the scene of a shocking theft. Both his Lamborghini and Mercedes were stolen right from outside his house. For most people, losing two luxury cars would be headline-worthy on its own. But for Carson, it was just another layer of turbulence stacked onto an already difficult year. Fans online couldn't help but connect the dots. Was the timing of the theft tied to his breakup, or was it just another cruel twist of fate? Whatever the truth, the message was clear. Carson's personal life was unraveling in ways he never imagined. But instead of letting it destroy him, he used it as fuel to look inward and start a transformation that no one saw coming. Amid the heartbreak, the rumors, and even the theft, Carson Beck found himself standing at a crossroads. He could let the chaos define him, or use it to grow. In that same interview, he revealed a side of himself fans rarely get to see. I've been able to connect to myself more, and find who I am, and really do some soul-searching, he admitted. It wasn't the polished quarterback answer people expected. This wasn't about stats, touchdowns, or rankings, it was about resilience. Carson even went so far as to say that, in a strange way, he was thankful. It's hard to say that I'm thankful for it all, but I am, because I wouldn't be the person I am today without all of these things that have happened. Those words flipped the narrative. Instead of being seen as just another young athlete caught in scandal, Carson showed he was taking ownership of his story. The pain had changed him, but so had the perspective. And as his personal life was being torn apart, something remarkable was happening on the field. While the headlines were busy dissecting his breakup, Carson Beck was quietly proving himself where it mattered most, on the field. With him under center, the Miami Hurricanes surged to a flawless 4-0 start, climbing to the number 3 spot in the nation. Every pass, every touchdown was a reminder that no amount of personal chaos could shake his focus when the game was on the line. Fans and analysts alike started noticing the contrast. Off the field, Carson was painted as a man battling heartbreak, rumors, and misfortune. On the field, he was the calm, commanding leader driving one of the most dangerous offenses in college football. It was almost like football became his escape, a place where the noise of the outside world couldn't touch him. And that contrast sparked an even bigger question: was Carson thriving in spite of the pain, or because of it? For many watching, it felt like the pressure that nearly broke him was also shaping him into something greater. But as dominant as he's been, one question still lingers in everyone's mind. Carson Beck's story isn't finished, it's only just beginning. The breakup with Hanna Cavinder may have left scars, but it also revealed the cost of living under the spotlight where every move is dissected and judged. Love, loss, stolen cars, and public scrutiny, most people would crumble under that weight. Yet Carson turned it into fuel, stepping onto the field sharper, stronger, and more determined than ever. But away from the roar of the stadium, the questions remain. Will time heal the silence between him and Hanna? Or has social media's relentless pressure closed that chapter forever? Fans can only wonder if the person they once called a power couple will ever cross paths again, or if the story is truly over. One thing's for sure, Carson Beck isn't just fighting for wins on Saturdays. He's fighting for control of his own narrative, no matter how loud the outside world gets. And maybe that's the real victory. So what do you think? Was social media the real villain in this breakup, or was it something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories like this one.